This lesson was brought to you by Saga Musical Instruments, the official sponsors of Gypsy Jazz Guitar Secrets magazine. How to improvise over J'attendrai. That's the question I've got from Fabian. He's from Uruguay. Hi, Fabian. And this is in response to that. And he's saying that he's just got a bit of, having a bit of trouble in this song in particular, you know, J'attendrai. And if you don't know J'attendrai, it's a song which Django Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli played with the Hot Club of France. And it's an old Italian tune, I think, which the guys in the Hot Club played and called it J'attendrai. And it's a really old, kind of charming old tune. It's a little bit funny. It's got, I think it's 26 bars. So it's kind of in two halves. The first half's 12 bars, second half's 12 bars as well, but with an extra 2 bars. So it kind of feels a bit funny, the form of it, the length. And as far as improvising over this song, like any song, if I was to look at this song, you know, brand new, and I didn't know this song, I would break it down into little pieces. That's the key to this whole thing. Instead of looking at this whole song, these 26 bars, and kind of every time you play it, you're getting worried by it and you're kind of getting lost. Instead, you know, stop that, take a step back, like always, and say, okay, what's the first few bars of this song? What's the first bar? And this song is in C. I'll play the changes to you really quickly so you can kind of remind yourself. Another little tip which I like to do is when I'm playing the changes, instead of playing the complex kind of jazzy chords, even the gypsy jazz chords up the neck, look at the basic chords down the neck to give you what it helps me. It might help you as well, depending where you're coming from. But if you know, like C down here, it kind of resonates with you a bit more, and you know exactly what you're talking about. So the first chord, it's in C, and the chord changes are like this. So I'm going to play the chords down the bottom of the neck. So you can kind of understand and hear the harmony. So it goes like this. And I'm not going to play full on like gypsy jazz rhythm. It's just going to be like, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. C, B7, C sharp diminished, D minor, A7, D minor with a descending thing, basically D minor 7, G7. That's the first half, C. Second half, C7 to F major to F minor, C, A7, D minor 7, G7, and back to C. So that's the form of the song. And so what Fabian's looking for is just a kind of way to get through improvising through this song. And when you're improvising, you're basically making a solo from notes which guide you through those tones. So if you listen to the solo, even without backing or accompaniment, you could tell that it's those chords which you're playing over. So that's the whole key, is to try and spell out the changes. And then beyond that is to get really creative and even go out the changes and back in and do all your funny stuff and all your bluesy stuff. And that's me just talking out loud. But so the first change that comes, and that's where people have problems, you know, that's where you have problems playing through chord changes, when the chords actually change. Because obviously we got a bit of C at the beginning, then it goes to B7. So you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, B7. Okay, so we could chunk that down as the first little bit that we'll look at. And let me just, you know, it's unlimited. There's unlimited ideas, and when you're in flow, these things can just go on forever, limitless, and just sound groovy and great all the time. But I'll give you a couple of little ideas which I like, what I like to hear over this song. So you've got C, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, B7, and then back to C. So you can play over C. Here's a couple of notes which sound good. I love the sound of the sixth, the A. There's the A down there. And I love this kind of idea going like this. So that, it's kind of like a lick, but it's basically, so B, C, E, G, A. All notes from C major, no surprises here. So And I like going back down to the A and doing this little, I think that sounds really charming. In time, 2, 3, 4, 1. You know, you got that sound. So you're anchoring in, you're aiming for that A note, which to me really, in this kind of music, it really gives that flavor. So if you're really looking for one note of the major chord, then the 6th really kind of really gives it that flavor. And then re-emphasize it down an octave. So you can play around with those notes. Okay, I love that bit where I go A and then bend up to the A. That kind of idea. So that's what I'm going to do for the C, okay? Let's just walk through the changes. I hope you got your guitar out. So there it goes down to B7, so it's like, ooh. So then you think, oh, does that mean I've got to go like, you know, play a B, you know, an arpeggio which works over B7. That's the kind of thing that you automatically think of as a musician, if you're studying. But in fact, there's a lot easier way to do it, using your ear. So of course you could just play a B7 kind of arpeggio like. But check this out. Here's one lick which I love using over the 7th and works really well when you drop it in this song, and that's. Okay, I've taught this lick a lot. I always give this as my favorite dominant 7th lick because it's really easy to play and it really captures that 7th sound and gives a little bit of tension as well. So yeah, so those notes: D, D sharp, F sharp, A, B, C, pull off D, back to C, B, down the octave. So yeah, so once you've got that flowing, then drop that in on the B7, okay? So it's going to go like, I'll just play the chords, so it's going to go C, 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 here we go. Okay, so it's C, 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 here we go. And when you land on that note, the B, it's already C harmony again. The chords are moved back to C. And that note fits in perfectly. It's the B, so it's, if you want to know what it is, it's the major 7th. But that lick really ties the B7 and comes back, lands on a B, which makes it the major 7th of C, so it works. But, you know, this way of thinking, it's not like a, you know, I talk to so many guys and I find myself sometimes falling in this trap of getting mathematical with music, and you want to always try and understand it. You want to, oh yeah, I understand that. Yeah, it's the major 7th, of course it works. I understand you. But you know what? Okay, you might understand it, but then make some music, play me something which is really swinging and really nice. You know, it's not the same thing. So you might be able to pass the maths test, but when someone puts a guitar in your hand, it's not the same thing. So it's a matter of sure, understanding that little bit of kind of understanding of the harmony and the notes, but really try and develop your ear. You know, I talked about it in one of my lessons a couple of months ago, of trusting your ear a little bit, and if it's sounding good, then don't push it, don't test it, don't try and reason with it. Just let that note be beautiful. You know, there's certain notes which I play every day on a guitar which I don't even know what they are, what their function is. All I know is that they work, and it comes from the heart, it comes from the soul, and that's what the listener is going to relate to as well. Okay, so just a little aside there. So you got the B7, which just works, so you trust. So you go in C, 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 B7. And then I've got this really cool quote which you can use when you go back to C. Fabian, you're going to love this, because this works perfectly over J'attendrai. So when you get back to the C, the harmony's going to go. It's going to go C, C sharp dim, D minor, then A7. And then you can go. I use this phrase. So it's a quote from I Can't Get Started, which is an old jazz standard, beautiful tune. And you go. That's just a C major arpeggio, whatever. B, C, E, G. That's the notes from the jazz standard. So that's the quote that we're dropping in here, which is always a cool thing as well, if you can drop a nice quote in a tune. So, yeah, to the A, and then I'm rounding it off like that. So I'll play the solo that we're creating now for you. So we're going to go from, so it's going to go C, 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 B7, C, C sharp dim, D minor 7, then A7. So slow it down a bit and I'll play a solo. 1, a 2, a 1, 2. Then you can carry on. So that's that's the ideas that we just looked at, and that is a charming way of playing through the changes. I'll play it again, and you might, improvising, you might just make a couple of changes and rhythmically be a bit different, but that's the kind of essence of what we're creating here with this improvising through J'attendrai. So 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. So we started off with the C major ideas based around the 6th, which I really like. A little bend up to the 6th, reiterating the 6th down an octave. This is over C major. For the B7, we use that lick. Yeah, we knew we were going to play that lick. It was preconceived, and we just dropped it in on the B7. We knew it was going to work, and it just sounded great. Then back out of that to C, and we played the. That's da 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 da, D minor, A7, and then we go into D minor. There's a D minor bit, it descends. You've got that classic. Basically, I'm just thinking D minor through that, okay? So, of course, you go. Always find that a little bit cliched or corny or whatever. So you can just blow through D minor when you've gotten that. So again, I like that 6th on the D minor, which is the G. So you're in D minor, and then I love that sound. So you go in, again bending up to it, D minor. Kind of pull off thing just gives it a little bit of flavor, a bit of spice. So we get the D minor. We're just gonna burn through D minor and just look again for some beautiful notes like the. Okay, that's when it's going descending, and then we've just got D minor 7, G7, C, and that's the end of the first half. That 2-5-1. Which is obviously you're going to find that progression, D minor 7, chord 2, G7, chord 5, and 1, C. You're going to find that all over music. So it's good to have a couple of ideas which work over that. I'll show you one. This is not a lick, but it's kind of like, for the D minor, you're going to play, right? So A, F. This is kind of the backbone of the harmony. So A and D. Maybe up to the G there, then down a fret, which spells out the G7. You got the, so it's that note. So it's that note for the D minor, for the G7. So actually, and then, so a 2-5 idea. Backbone, but you can dress it up a bit. So through that D minor phrase, I'm going to play that, and then for the 2-5-1, yeah, you with me? So from the top, just refresh ourselves with the changes. So C, 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 B7, C, C sharp, D minor, A7. Here's that descending. I'm just going to play D minor through that. D minor. Now 2, 5, 1, G7, C. Okay, now we'll create our solo through that first half of the tune. So from the top, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. D minor. 2, 5. Okay, that's the first half. So from that D minor a bit, I was going to go. That's really nice. Then for the 2, 5, G7, C. Move on to the second half. Then we go to C7. So then, which is going to go to F. So for the C7, here's an idea I like to use over C7, and it's not just using that lick, it's going very basic, so that kind of idea, maybe something like this. But basically these notes. It's going to go to the F, remember? Yeah, so C7. It's going to sound good that when you do it. Then you go to F major, and you're going to hit on that the major third. And then, why not, the F minor. So whatever lick you play around that, you're going to go from the C7. There you go, that's always nice, going from the third to the root, minor third to the root. Again, C7. F major. F minor. Then it's C again. A7. That's a good one. Again, like that B7 lick. A7. Then you're almost home and dry there. D minor 7, G7, C. So that C7, we did that kind of bluesy kind of thing. F, F minor, then C, A7, then minor, 2, 5, 1. Remember that idea? It's gonna work also for the end. Then out the end. Then you're there. So that's one way. Like I said, it's infinite, and there's infinite ideas and possibilities. And like I also said, trust your ear. So if you come up with nice ways of weaving through these changes, then trust them. That's one way that I would look through these changes. I hope you got a few licks out of that. And take your time, rewind the tape, go over it, get someone to play the chords or get a backing tape, and just try these ideas, chunk it down, look at the first little bit of changes, C to B7, look at every little bit of changes, and really, understand it, really understand it. So you're not kind of bluffing or kind of like skating over bits or a bit dodgy, because you may as well get it right. And it's worth being able to improvise over this tune really well than 10 tunes average, so just get it down. And it's a good charming tune, J'attendrai. It's really fun to play. You can check out, I've got a live at Samoa album which we did this tune on, so some more ideas there. And why not check out Django's version as well, it's pretty good. So anyway, Fabian, that was for you, man, and I hope you enjoyed that lesson. If you got a question, you can also please fire away. I love answering these, and I love helping people out with Gypsy Jazz and with other stuff too. So, and also let me say that, if you haven't checked out Gypsy Jazz Secrets, which is an online magazine, which you can look at on your iPad or your iPhone or any Android device, then go to gypsyjazzsecrets.com and then download the free app. And then there's a magazine waiting for you right now. So if you haven't done that, go and check this out. There's tons of lessons from all the best guys in the world who play this music and loads of performances. And it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing on the iPad. So that's it from me, Robin, and I'll see you soon in another video. All right, let's have a look at playing a solo actually now, recapping some of the ideas we just looked at, and I'll weave together those ideas through the changes and improvising over j'attendrai. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the ideas we looked at. Like I say, this is improvising, so don't just copy that solo, or I've never copied anyone's solo. That's the truth. People do. People get mileage out of that, but try and just like understand the lesson and absorb those changes, and then just go for it. So that's it.